Hey everyone, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. I appreciate you all very, very much. This is just a video I wanted to put out regarding the intense energies I feel coming in right now. And I'm just going to share the screen to highlight that a little bit more. Okay, so why am I asking that? So we've got, say, these few. And there are many of us, but few in the grand scheme of things, the way things are set up here. And I would say this is representative of us, of people who we know have actually watched not just repeat cycles in past lives or past experiences of this same horror show, but also within this lifetime, we've moved in circles of some importance, and some to be the observer, where we've witnessed these exact same psyopses play out on the masses and the vulnerable, where there is a requirement for them to progress in a plan of power and control. And it's ingrained in our heads so much, but it has actually been happening for a much shorter period of time, I truly believe, than they let on. And so there's these energies within us right now that are feeling very connected with one another, that are feeling very together, even though there is distance or even routine that is stopping the physical contact. There is this deep connection, high telepathy, high intuition regarding one another, feeling people coming in that you know you've never even physically spoken to, nor met, and you can feel them, you can feel their essence, because their essence is going along the same frequential wave band as yours. So wherever they fit in that wave band, for the individual of this smaller collective experience is where you'll meet them, and you're able to meet them, connect with them very, very strongly right now because of this. And I've been feeling this reverberation of one another that has actually acted as a catalyst to quantum leap these energies into as far as the strength of signal. And so as this reverberates off and through one another, we are building up this source of energy. And the as above, so below, always standing in that from the below aspect, we are then starting to cycle not only this energy in and around ourselves, but also we're hopping and connecting auric fields, if you like, where these auric fields are multiplying. And there's a reason that the Christians preach, and many other esoteric knowledge would preach, that where two or more with the same intent are gathered in prayer, in chant, in channeling, basically, there is power to that group, there is power to that prayer, there's power to that intent. It's not an easy game, because if you have somebody in this group, let's say, that is, let's choose a different color, that is of a darker nature sneaking in, then they are absorbent of energies that they can neither take nor put out, so it can sort of muddy the waters of a necessary strong intent. So take you out. So as I go through with this visualization board of the energy and the visions that I'm having, is that as above, so below, we are magnetizing then out this frequency of connected auric fields that has already been building and reverberating off one another. which is why many of us have needed isolation. We've needed that isolation to be able to really focus in on this. We've needed the lack of stimuli, because this has been all of the stimuli anybody can take anyway. We've required to keep our auric fields auras cleansed, clean, free of an intent that doesn't resonate with the collective here that is building this energy. So as this energy has been building, and a lot of us have been experiencing one way or another through just actively seeking these things out, we also have had things put in the way that, you know, often the universe works in our favor, even when it looks like it's not, always, because we always end up needing that very thing, the isolation, the alone time. So as we're doing this reverberation, you can feel above, in that as above, so below aspect. You can feel the above chains of energy, of frequency, that also resonate with these reverberated frequencies. You can feel them lining up, a little bit like a big tanker that needs a big diesel hose attached to it and sort of riveted on or screwed on, because there is going to be such a power and force of fuel put through that smallish pipe, and it's going to be going into an enclosed space. And this is for a good reason, in order to be able to make that lorry, that big truck, move and propel itself forward in the direction it needs to go. It needs to be closed off. It needs to be pure. It needs to be cleansed. So the reasons for those things that we just spoke about before has actually been building this purity box, like this frequency purity box, if you like. And with that, that is only seek to increase the amount of reverberation of this energy, and seek to increase the signal that we are sending upwards. So these hoses, these fuel pipes of energy, are magnetizing towards that which resonates with them below. And right now it feels like we're at the moment where, with this force, we're being hooked in. We're getting ready or preparing to be aligned and hooked in, and able to download the frequency, as well as, like a biofeedback loop, upload that frequency to create this energetic feedback and signal. It feels like it is the soul source energy of our soul tribes. Very many different soul tribes, but that match in frequency or intent. And so we can feel this. It's palpable because it is so close to our organic selves, our soul's energy, that we can't ignore it. The reason we build these energetic purity boxes, the whole reason for covens, for secrecy in societies or gatherings of people with a similar intent, is because it's not all bad. Yes, the bad, it works out good for them, with those with negative intent or lower frequency intent. It works out well because the secrecy works in their favor. But also it's ancient knowledge that has been known that there needs to be a purity in energy in order to be able to even take these types of downloads and be able to upload these types of things, because we do not want to risk a virus being uploaded. So back to that little figure before that we did here, with a darker intent, with a more negative intent to cause a chink at either a dilution of frequency or a distortion of frequency, a frequency that should be kept very pure and very concise as to what its intent is and what the result is of these downloads. And a lot of us are energetically feeling, while we are in this purity box, so to speak, the reason for this is we don't want to be simultaneously, because we already are downloading down the chain from our energetic feedback, as above, so below. Who's above ultimately and who's below? It's a chain. We do not want to be right now inadvertently speaking to the masses with these frequencies. These frequencies are meant to be building right now. They're meant to be very focused, very refined right now. There is about to be, and we don't want to give them the opportunity to be out there yet, because we do not want the dilution. We don't want it to be diluted or distorted. This is an opportunity for us to fuel up, so to speak, on soul source energy. That still sets off a catalyst. These purity boxes, however many they are being felt by those that would not want this type of leadership, this type of teaching, this type of knowing of self. And so it's being noticed. And so you'll find, though, as above, so below, desperately below, there are many people desperately seeking to anchor into something, desperately seeking to be a part of something, to feel safer in a group rather than being alone. And so you'll feel that from innocent places, these purity boxes being bombarded with, can I get in? Can I get in? Can I get in? Can I get in? Can I be your friend? Can I be your friend? And for many of us, we're noticing either old people coming out of the woodwork, or overly affectionate or overly friendly people trying to appease us, trying to make us feel good. And it feels odd, and so it should. At this moment, you're not being called to make friends. At this moment, if this resonates with you, you're being called to download and upload. But to block this level of download just now, because this level of download just now, if you were to let it out right now, one, the attacks are going to come in very frequently. This is the energy that you sort of really save your best to last. You really constantly discern, are you willing to die or walk away for another day where your energy will be better served, or may even be better served, to even weigh up the potentials. Now, part of this bombardment also is those that walk among us, grifters, those that follow grifters, who do not like this. And actually, for the most part, will be being told to bombard these purity boxes, these energy boxes, anything to try and hook you in. They're fishing right now with their fishing rods and their hooks, and they're desperately trying to hook you in. Why? Because that'll cause a leak. It'll cause a hole where this message that is being built up for effect, like an intent bomb, it'll cause a leak. It will cause a weakening of the message, a weakening of the frequency, a weakening of the soul and the source and the things that can come through that at the right time. So you're also being asked to everything with the best will in the world. The people who are in these purity boxes have watched this cycle, even just in this lifetime alone, over and over again, particularly with the sort of very distorted, mixed up Christianity with white supremacy, with the New Age ideas, with very ancient truths mixed with a lot of distortion or a lot of dilution. So you don't want to be entering into any energetic exchange with those types of things, because right now they've turned into, for what we are building this energy of intent for, they've turned into distractions. Again, another distractions. And there are so many forces, even forces within self, that have forgotten how to handle this kind of soul source energy. The heat of it, the passion of it, the drive of it, the pain of it, all of those things. So it's tempting to be distracted. It's tempting to allow a hook to put a hole in this purity box. It's tempting to allow yourself to be drawn in to battle. This would only be entering them into then this circle of trust, like Meet the Fockers, where this circle of trust can be then penetrated from within to the without. All of a sudden, this purity box is now reflecting grifters, it's reflecting the truth and the lie, it's reflecting desperados, it's reflecting the fearful. So you see how pure we have to keep these boxes of connection that we feel we are in right now, because they're going to turn to chaos real soon. All of these different groups of the telegrams of the world, with the many grifters in it, that being built for grifting, the other socials, yeah, so socials covers it. All of these bombardment of things that we've seen over and over again, they're not even changing the material. Jordan Maxwell gets popular in these cycles, and the same thing he's been saying for years gets trotted out. A few people take up on it, a few people start understanding it, but these many people are still in awe of a lot of these things that get trotted out over and over again. And it's not to say all those things that are getting trotted out, that a lot of the truths in there are priceless, but they're absolutely diluted and saturating the market, so much so that they become, yeah, I like it, but only because I want to align myself with that group, not because I feel the frequency of the message. But at the same time, as above, so below, right? So the same thing is, you can see these groups of people being coerced and literally hooked into to reverberate also this energy feed of Jesus is king again, and Trump's going to save us. No, Boris is going to save us. No, the Queen's already dead. Or all of those things that are distractions, but the energy is also building up and building up. The difference is, for those that are in these purity boxes energetically, is that there's this lack of fear. There's the knowing of danger, but there is this lack of fear. Whereas down here, being the reflection of this purity box above, down here, this is all filled with fear. This is all filled with lack. This is all filled with guilt, anger, and destruction. They want to destroy, they want to pull all the systems down, not realizing if they did that, many wouldn't survive. but that's building. But this is a very dark pool that is building, and it has the power of the powers that be in it. So the powers that be have their own purity box over here, let's say, where they're building like this cube of Saturn, so to speak, where they have their talented few building and reverberating the energy. Difference is we've allowed these goons to have so much control that for every 3 people in a purity box that would be in our frequency and intent range, they now have robots to do it. They now have algorithms. They now have money to pump into the very systems. So it really is feeding this black whirlpool of energy below us. If we were just to drop the box here from under our feet and drop ourselves into the fray once again that most of us have been in a lot of the time, kamikaze in, I can save a few, I can speak truth to this one and this one and this one and this one. It's like energy wise and pound foolish. It's a shame. It's not nice to witness, because this pool is really building up. This dark pool of energy is really building up. If we were just to drop ourselves in there, we then become suicide bombers, energetically and physically right now, to be quite frank, in that we do, you know, we're tantamount to strapping on the vests and becoming suicide bombers. But we'll only sort of energetically marigold bomb and chamomile bomb here, there, and a little bit here and a little bit there. But it certainly won't be enough to stop this swirling of energy or these emotions that come up with these swirlings of energies, with these frequencies that are being pumped into the masses. It's at this stage where we see the zombie apocalypse, where we see the full extent of the mind control, of the propaganda control, of the magic that has kept these few in power for however long it has. So we have to be really wise with these purity boxes. We have to really covet them. And to remember the lesson of to be the observer is sometimes the most powerful thing that can be done. To be a participant is very different, and of course we participate, and a lot of us have participated a lot and done our fair share. But we've done that at the timing that we've done that in the right frequency, in the right energy, where we were being somewhat protected, somewhat immune from the full-scale attack of energy that is building in this pool right now. A lot of the things that the people in this energy box said here so long ago, that they did download to masses, you find when those truths actually get so close to the spiritual teaching of it all comes down to the inner work, the shadow work of cycling yourself out of energy pools that can only be made available to us fully when they resonate with a fear inside of us, or an anger, or a lack mentality, or a destructive mentality, a mindset that is of that. So it's with that being said, will you stop doing that to the microphone, please, mate? It's with that being said, and I hope I'm conveying this enough, that it's time, stop doing that, mate. It doesn't want to stroke you back. At this time, it is to say that right now, if you were to then jump back in the way that you have been the last couple of years in particular, but for a lot of us, way before that, you will actually become the recipient of real attack, both physical, energetic, spiritual, in that you are getting it from all barrels. These lot are getting it from all barrels, with the grifters joining in, doing the work of the powers that be above them and above them and above them and above them, multiplied into the billions. On top of that, the trillions, with all the algorithms, with all of the propaganda, all of the magic, all of the numeracy, all of the sequences put into invoking terror into these people in this pool. And these pools are many. These pools are made up of so-called movement people, of old Christians, of new Christians, of grifter Christians, of old, new, grifting Muslims, of old, new, grifting Jews, of all of the organized religions are like hotbeds right now, and they always are in this point in the cycle. So not only will you be self-sacrificing and becoming an energetic suicide bomber for very little effect, you also then highlight the purity box and where it is. You give it an outline, whereas before there wasn't the outline, there was no group name, there was no social media page. It was an energetic, pure bubble. So giving into that drive to become the suicide bomber energetically, not only do you sacrifice yourself for very little effect, but you also sacrifice or potentially harm all of your purity bubble, all of your energetic pure bubble. So this is where, again, I say about discernment, and warned about this for years leading up to what's been going on, the need for discernment and the need to be able to see the bigger picture. The alignment of these pumps above us, of our soul source energies, frequencies that resonate with us so much, is like a rare alignment of stars. It is an alignment of stars where things just line up perfectly, where you can refuel that engine in a way that is so precise and so successful, that we have to be so discerning, not only of our own actions and our own boundaries right now, because a lot of these people also are like drowning people in these pools of energy where they don't know whether they're coming or going. They're being psyops from here, there, and everywhere. Like a drowning person, they'll grab onto anything, even if it means pulling that anything under in order to save themselves. That's where we are at. And so the temptation for often great intent from these people in these energetic purity boxes will be great. It will be intense. But to remember to have the discernment and the self-reflection always, to not only covet yourself and your own energy right now, because that's what the energies are calling for right now, but also feel a sense of responsibility for the rest of your tribe in that purity box. And a lot of us right now are working so hard in spirit, working so hard in the air, in the ether, in the invisible. And we are sharing purity boxes all over the place. There are fractals of us that resonate with another purity box over here, let's say, and another one over here and over here. So we're building these portals between these purity boxes of energy. So you can imagine then one energetic suicide bomber making a hole then creates a network, a connection network that the algorithms alone right now can hook into spiritually, can hear thought, and have a virus uploaded that infects not just this purity box, but this purity box and this purity box that's connected to this one, and so forth, so on and so forth. I hope this makes sense, and I hope I'm conveying it enough in these scribbles to show that what I'm seeing, these hoses of our frequencies, of frequencies that we were born for in this lifetime, that we have been waiting to align with us at the right time. So it's such a special moment, and it's such a important moment in how we try and rebalance the scales here in this realm. So for now, it is all about holding space, holding these plates of energy above the distractions, above the fear, above the lack mentality, above the destruction, wherever that destruction might be coming from, to hold these plates of energy in order to keep this connection pure and this connection strong, because we need it to be strong. There is coming a time in the very near future where we can fully expect full-on war. We can fully expect to be in positions that our grandparents have been in, that loved ones have been in, that, you know, that are torturous, that are, you know, nasty energies, war. You know, the war drums have been banging for a long time, but excuse me, the full extent of war isn't felt by many of us in the Western part of the world, not in the ways that have been inflicted on many other parts. But what has been very apparent in the Western world is people hooking into people's energies. Powers that be realizing that the energetic war is where it is at, the control of these people in these purity boxes is where it is at. That's where the key factors lie. That's where the those that won't go along with the plan, those that won't be quiet, all of those people, that's where their weakness lies. And so with these war drums, we can fully expect that we saw people in the pandemic lose their shit over toilet roll. Now they're losing their shit over vegetables. Really, in the UK. We are about to witness, and you can feel this coming energetically, we are about to witness such chaos ensue. And that chaos is going to come from war tactics. I did a video the other day, there is no mistake that is a chemical bomb going out over, I can't see it right in, over across America. Lack, fear, terrorism, supplies, etc., etc. This kind of chaos that's coming in very, very soon is going to have these people so riled up. It's going to have them literally bouncing off the walls anything to feel powerful, doing anything to feel distracted, doing anything to feel like they're on a winning side. Therefore, they're willing to jump from any fearful group to the other. And they can never reach the powers that be, the very people that a lot of these people say they're fighting, but they reflect. But often they can reach us, those who walk among them. And we do reflect the hidden, the occult, the knowing, which is the same reflection when people are in a fearful state as the same powers that be that hold that secrecy, the occult, the knowing, the old knowledge. But who can they get to? They can get to you and your groups of soul tribe far easier than they can get to, for the most part, a lot of these people being holograms. They're inobtainable. They're not really real. So this is where the energies feel like they're at for me. You can feel a deepening of them and a reflection of the opposite, as above, so below. And so I just want to say to the people who know that they need to sustain these purity boxes, pull no punches. Now is not the time for the people-pleasing aspects that a lot of us have. Now is not the time for being worried about upsetting people if we don't let them in by the hairs on their chinny chin, literally. It's a holding space and time energy. It's the observer energy. It is the building energy. It is the connecting back to the umbilical cord energy while it is there, while it is available. Because we are going to need it. These people even are going to need it. So it's about holding that intent, holding that frequency, and having a sense of responsibility for your fellow energetic being. Having a sense of protectiveness for your fellow energetic being. So that's where it's at. I hope that makes sense. I hope that sort of helped you at least somewhat visualize what I'm visualizing, what I'm feeling, what I'm having downloaded to me, what I'm giving focus and energy to, because I know a lot of you are doing that anyway. I can feel you. So be very discerning right now. Be very your name's not down, you're not getting in kind of energy, you know, like be very blasé about the fact that you're not willing to sacrifice yourself and you're not willing to sacrifice others to prove a point, to feel better about proving that point, to cause a weakness in those purity boxes. It's really important, and it's something to really hold in mind as we go forward over the next few months, for real, for sure. I'm feeling so much water coming in over places. I'm feeling so much of the earth cracking open, and it's man-made. It's not of nature. Nature is not telling me that. It's not telling me, and it's not warning me, you know, regarding look to the animals for more of an insight as to what is man-made and what is nature itself. Because the man-made is coming in such a shocking pace that a lot of the animals aren't intuitively leaving. They're dying there. There are a lot of dead animals in places in America right now. There are a lot of dead animals in Turkey right now. So these earthquakes that are happening, this is the type of chaos plans they are opening up, that they're rolling the dice on. The die is cast on that. So you can imagine the type of energy we should be building up right now and consuming from our soul tribe, our soul source energy. And we can't afford to dilute it. We just can't. This is a call to action. And often for those that do not understand, action, non-action is a very powerful action a lot of the time. When it feels like there's no winning because of even good intent being placed in the wrong place right now, is causing more victims, it's causing more damage. Whereas holding that line, holding that space and that time is not easy. Everything about it wants to flow down and forward. So to keep it reverberating is like being in a rolling Kundalini experience. Because that's what it's like. It's like chain link Kundalini, which you can imagine. It's both invigorating and exhausting. So recoup, replenish yourself physically and emotionally and spiritually. Open yourself up to that energy that is there and available for you right now, aligning to you. And that non-action takes so much strength. It takes so much diligence and thought that it is not non-action in the sense of it comes with sacrifice, a lot of sacrifice. It comes with sadness, but it also comes with bliss. And it's all about that bigger picture, isn't it? So I know this resonated with those that I know it resonated with already. That seems a bit pointless to say, but you know what I mean. And for those that it didn't, just be aware of it. You might start seeing it roll out and realize that that's what that means to me. But share it, please do. Please go and check the Divinity store on Etsy. It'll be in the link below. Go over to my socials, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and you'll catch me there again. I'm slowly trying to, I've got to for business, be there and be present. So, you know, I'm not on there all the time, but I'm there catching messages, I'm there catching orders. So please do order that. It's super important right now that we're looking after our physical selves, and it is super important right now that we are looking more to nature. Wildcraft, all of my herbal blends, and they've all come about by me following my intent to learn about this certain herb or this certain plant and how that combines. And you know, I'm a bit intuitive, so it tends to be that a lot of the properties that I'm finding in the herbal blends that have been wildcrafted by myself, with my intent put in them, is actually aligning up with the need and the calling of the many, of like anti-parasitic properties, antiviral, antibacterial, anti-inflammatory, pain relief, stress relief. Parasitic one is huge. The inflammation is huge. The detoxing of heavy metals. So I'm adding things all of the time. Please go over and have a look. People are loving the products when they do get them. So I really do appreciate your help with that. If you can't buy anything right now, just share the post. I appreciate that also. Much love, much balance, and of course, wholeness. Keep your box pure. Take that however you will. That could be a clean or dirty slur, but either way, it's meant. And I do mean it. Keep your box pure. Nobody wants any clogs in the box. We want plenty of space to reverberate that energy and build, build, build. Much love, balance, and again, and wholeness. And say bye-bye. You're so naughty. You're so naughty.